It would appear the Randall Cobb trade rumors are indeed real. Initially reported by Trey Wingo, who said Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers was demanding Randall Cobb reunite with him in Green Bay. Well, now NFL Network reports the two sides, Houston and Green Bay, are indeed discussing a trade that would send Cobb from Houston back to the team that drafted him. Now, again, this was allegedly a move Aaron Rodgers requested/demanded, and I'll make note that Rodgers did show up today for Green Bay Packers training camp. Cobb, of course, played from Green Bay from 2011 to 2018, left the team, signed with the Dallas Cowboys in 2019, and then got the bag from the Houston Texans, which is actually, I think, a big reason why the trade, as we film this, has not been finalized. The Texans gave Cobb a 3-year, $27 million deal, and then he was a bit banged up and didn't play that great for them this past season. A trade makes a lot of sense from the Texans' standpoint. It saves them almost $8.5 million in cap space, adds a little bit of dead money next year, but it's still worth it for them. The Packers, meanwhile, if they were to trade for Randall Cobb, would owe him about $8.5 million for this upcoming season, and then $8.25 million next year, although it would be really a one-year contract. There's no guaranteed money beyond this upcoming season. So in the event that, say, Aaron Rodgers leaves, they would simply cut Randall Cobb. That's a lot of money, though, for Green Bay and could be a potential problem for them, along with, I think, figuring out the exact value of Randall Cobb. As good as he was in his prime in Green Bay and even in his lone year in Dallas, Randall Cobb was not great last season. Now, only 10 games. Injuries certainly a factor in this. The production was not particularly great. 38 grabs for only 441 yards. It's a far cry from the Randall Cobb that we are so accustomed to seeing, who's been a fantastic football player. In fact, this is his worst statistical production outside of other seasons where he got hurt since his rookie year. Yeah, he missed time in 2018, 2013 as well, but on his 16-game average season with his time in Green Bay, look at that glorious Photoshop picture as well in a Randall Cobb Packers jersey, right? 102 targets, 72 grabs, 857 yards. Again, this is all just averages, and 6 touchdowns. There's some rounding there, but it's pretty much exactly there in the end. Look, it's very clear to me. Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, trying to get the band back together for one last dance with the Packers. I think another reason why the deal is not done yet is trying to figure out what the value is for Randall Cobb. The Packers don't have very much leverage. It's already been leaked that Rodgers wants this deal to go down, and I'm sure Randall Cobb wants that, and it starts to make the Anthony Miller trade make even more sense for Houston. So let's say it's a draft pick. What do you think the draft pick value is for Randall Cobb? What is he worth in a trade? Get your votes in for me right now in the comments section. Now, assuming Randall Cobb does end up heading over to the Green Bay Packers, he's going to be a slot receiver, right? Which means third-round rookie Amari Rodgers likely takes a bit of a backseat role for the team. I like Rodgers quite a bit. At minimum, Randall Cobb would be a fantastic vet mentor, even if Rodgers ends up somehow still in the starting job, which I somehow doubt. This appears to be the Aaron Rodgers farewell tour season, getting the band back together for one last chance. Plus, he got MVS, Alan Lazard, Devin Funchess, maybe EQ St. Brown on the outside too. Overall, add Randall Cobb if he's somewhat healthy. It's a pretty good unit for the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, in Houston, I want to discuss their side as well. As I mentioned, a Randall Cobb trade would be a massive win for the organization. He gets out of the contract, and you get some of draft capital back, and helps figure out just what the hell your receiving room is going to look like. Because the Houston Texans, after they added Anthony Miller as well, by the way, are still wildly deep at receiver. Brandon Cooks is going to be the number one. I'd bet good money on Nico Collins eventually taking over the wide receiver 2 role on the outside. Cobb was going to be in the slot. Maybe that's Anthony Miller. Maybe that's Kiki Cutie. And then there are other players on the roster. The Texans are so crazy deep, this entire room, outside of Damon Hazelton, consists of players who have started games and or spent significant time on an NFL roster. Chris Conley, a former third-round pick by the Jags. Isaiah Coulter, a fifth-round pick in 2020. Andre Roberts might make it because of special teams. Chris Moore was played with the Ravens for a long time. Taylor spent a ton of time with the Browns and Titans. The other Chris Moore, of course, I mentioned him. Alex Erickson, also on this roster, another potential special teams guy. The depth on this Texans receiving core is kind of crazy. It's back end of the roster depth, but trading away Randall Cobb frees up at least one spot for the Houston Texans.